Today, we're sitting down with Oscar Grant Jr., a father, a man shaped by life, loss, and resilience. Before the headlines, before the tragedy, there was a story.
Damn sister man! Guilty! Officer Mazzolini! Guilty!
Let's start from the beginning. Where were you born and where did you grow up?
My name is Oscar Grant Jr. I grew up in East Oakland, Brookfield, born and raised, the jungle.
What was your childhood like in that environment?
Well, I was one of them kids that stayed in trouble, always was in something, ripping and running from Brookfield to downtown Oakland, getting into something. And you can best believe I had a bike doing it. Yeah, back then, growing up in East Oakland, we had pimps, players, hustlers. The person who influenced me the most was my Uncle BB. Between him and my great granny, they influenced me the most. He's the one I used to always watch come back to the house. And every time he came home, he had something. Money, leather clothes, fur coats, 5X Beavers, Godfathers, gold rings, gold chains, diamond rings. So I used to always ask my uncle, hey man, how can I do something like that? How can I get stuff like that? He said, just pay attention. So I used to watch him, and as I watched him, I started getting out into them streets and being in the street life. I became one of them dudes, as they call him. You'll see what happened. Great granny is still the positive values in my life.
How did those early experiences shape the man you became?
What shaped me into the person that I was is seeing all the major things in the streets of Oakland that impacted me. It's ended up sending me to prison.
When your son, Oscar, was born, what did that moment mean to you?
When my son was born, that was the most happiest day of my life. The best thing that ever happened to me, having my son born and named Oscar Grant III.
Your son was born when you were on trial, so what kind of relationship did you have with him growing up?
My relationship with my son was a damn good relationship.
How would you describe him to someone who never met him?
My son, he was a great son, a loving son, and a caring son, and a respectful father.
What are some memories of him that still stay with you?
The memories of my son, me holding him in my arms when he first was born, his mama bringing him up to visit me, and me being able to talk to him on the phone at nighttime and let him know that his daddy really loved him and care about him and don't worry about it. Dad gonna be home soon. He gave me a lot of advice, but he also gave me a verse to read out of the Bible. And I read it. And I want him to know I will always keep those memories right here.
Can you talk about the relationship with his mother during that time?
The relationship with me and my son's mama during that time, we was on good terms. But now,
Looking back now, how do you reflect on your role as a father?
looking back, my role as a father, I was young when I went to prison. I did 35 years. And I was brought back with charges dismissed and was told, we're sorry for taking you to prison, for wrongly accusing you. we're sorry for what happened to your son. So under those circumstances, I did the best I could as a father in making sure if my son needed something, I got it to him.
At a certain point, your life took a different turn. Can you share what led to your time away?
What took a certain turn in my life is I say this to y'all. Whatever you do, if you're with your partners, you're not responsible for what they do. But if they do something, you will end up in prison right along with them. So that's what took a major turn in my life.
What was that experience like for you personally? And what did you learn about yourself during that time away? Let's get into that.
So inside, behind the walls, that was a major, major turn for me as a youngster, being 22 years old. I seen people get stabbed. I seen people get thrown off the tier. I seen people get raped. I seen people get killed. I seen people kill themselves. I seen people beat up the police. I seen people come in there with the name John and leave out Samantha. So I seen a whole lot in there. And in there, they called it the end of the world. It was so much racism going on when I got there that for a black man, a brown man, a youngster period, life was hell. Yeah, and while in there, it taught me respect, loyalty, and to just mind my own business in order to make it out of there.
How did being away affect your relationship with your son? And were you able to stay connected with him at all?
And somewhat it reflected us a little bit because I was away and he wanted his dad. So it used to bother him and we used to talk about it. And he asked me, Dad, will you stop doing the things you're doing in there in order to come home so you can be with me? And I said yes, and I did. Yes, I was able to stay connected with him. I talked to him every night on a cell phone. And I used to call him collect on the wall phone.
When you thought about coming home, what did you hope life would look like? Like, what was your reality on the outside?
When I thought about coming home, all I thought about was seeing my mama, my son, and I got to see my mother. But my son, I had to go to the cemetery to see. I seen my brothers and my sister. And being out here like this, I didn't expect these streets, none of this to be like it is.
A former Oakland transit officer is convicted of involuntary manslaughter in the fatal shooting of 22-year-old Oscar Grant.
Can you take me back to the moment you first learned what happened to your son?
I was coming back from work, and I came in the building. Miss Brown said, "Hey Grant, you need to go to Center Complex. You ain't in no trouble, but you need to go over there. It's very, very important." I said, "No, I'm not going over there." She said, "No, you need to go." So I went over there, Sergeant Clark, and he said, "Step in, Oscar." I step in his office. He said, "Do you know Anjanetta Grant?" I said, "Yeah, that's my sister. Why, what's up?" He said, "You need to call her." I said, "Okay." He dialed the number straight through. And my sister's talking about Papa gone. At this time, I don't even know what she talking about or who she talking about. He said, "Papa gone." I said, "What you mean, Papa gone?" She say, "They killed your son." I dropped the phone, walked right out of the Center Complex, went back to the building. My bunkie was half woke, half asleep, my little partner. And I woke him up, say, "Bro, get the cell phone out." He said, "What's up, bro?" I say, "Man, I gotta find out what's going on. They done killed my son, bro." He said, huh? And he said, "Look, it's on TV, blood, look." And I say, "Wait a minute. I'm like, oh, hell no. So I called home.
What was going through your mind right then? And how did it feel to process that loss while coming home from incarceration?
I was pissed off, I was angry, I was bitter. And I was like, okay. Now I see it on the news, on TV. I'm like, oh, the police killed my son. So now I'm like, okay, well, I don't got to worry about dealing with these hardheads on the streets. It's the police. And I'm looking, I say, man, getting out in 2019, something that I thought me and my son had said, can't wait for you to come home, Dad. I'm gonna take you to the paint. I'm gonna mess over you in basketball. I said, oh, I promise you, you're not. And I get out, and I don't have that. That feeling right there, I don't think no daddy in the world will ever understand that feeling. Not being able to see your son, go nowhere with your son, talk to your son, or walk with your son, or even just sit down with him and my granddaughter and say, man, I love you.
Has this experience changed the way you see the world?
Yeah. It's a big change because of how it is out here. How the pandemic hit and everything. So it's a major change. And then not to be able to share it with who you really love and care about and respect makes it even worse.
Right. Unc, I want to tell you, man, great job on getting back out here, getting connected with the right people, staying focused, not holding no grudges. I'm proud of you, man. How has it shaped your views on justice or policing? And what do you wish people understood about your son beyond what they saw in the media?
Well, I'm gonna say this because my views and shapes of the policies of how things is out here now is the same way it was back in the days. The only difference is they're being charged instead of not being charged.
As far as like the
As far as
officers
officer
involved shootings and stuff like that.
Yes, sir. Officers involved with shootings, officers involved with arresting people for the wrong things, officers involved with beating them, but also the way these youngsters is.
Right. Incident, or do you believe that all police are like this?
I believe it was an isolated incident.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is because all police is not like what happened to my son.
Right.
You know, it's just a group of police who want to go around and do the things they do, and they get away with it. I was pissed off, I was angry, I was bitter, and I was like, okay. Now I see it on the news, on TV, I'm like, oh, the police killed my son. So now I'm like, okay, well, I don't got to worry about dealing with these hardheads on the streets. It's the police. And I'm looking, I say,
Did you guys navigate griefs separately or together?
separately.
What is your relationship with your granddaughter today?
My relationship with my granddaughter today is good. Me and her is cool, is all outdoors. That is my partner.
That's what's up. So what does being a grandfather and a great-grandfather mean to you now?
Man, that mean the world to me, bro. My son got the most beautifulest daughter and the most beautifulest grandkids. I wish he was here to see them.
How do you talk to the younger generation about what happened?
Well, most of the time when I talk to these youngsters, I tell them, look, the tragedy that happened to my son, don't let that be you. Don't be out here in these streets tearing them up, robbing, stealing, because it's not going to get you nowhere. I say, if you think selling drugs is, that's not easy. I say, because I've been there, done that, and you see where I'm at now. I did 35 years in prison. Now I'm back out here. I'm out here with y'all, boots on the ground, getting you youngsters to understand the concept of giving back, loving, and respect.
How has this experience changed you, who you are as a man?
It changed me who I am as a man. First of all, for the loss of my son, it made me really have to sit down and think and get all my thoughts together. Now I know I'm coming out here, I don't have him. So what do? I don't have my great granny. My mom's passed, but I was able to see her before she passed. And she told me, Junior, you the oldest out of 7. You the first. You know what you gotta do. You always been the man of the family, even when you was a kid. You always let everybody know how you felt, and you kept the family together. How you gonna keep the family together now? I say, that's what I'm not gonna do. I'm just gonna make sure that I keep me, myself, and I together first.
What was the healing process? What does that look like for you?
I'm gonna keep it real and honest. The healing process for me started when after my son was killed, with all my brothers that was in prison with me. They sat down with me and they talked to me. And as I got out of there, my folks, my loved one, my buddy, my road dog, Yusuf, every time I used to vent, you helped me heal, believe it or not. Rob did, Blue did, but also my wife. I sat down with her, and I also sat down with Aunt B, Uncle Bobby, Rudy, Miss Five, Turha, Shay Nim, and my healing came through helping the youngsters be out there, cleaning up, and making sure that nobody else's family go through what my family's going through.
Outreach we do with CRC and Kano Special Services, correct? All right. All right, so what challenges do you still face?
Waking up, want to call my son.
So what keeps you grounded and moving forward?
Being able to be out there with all these different organizations, helping these youngsters, the block parties, being able to go into the homeless camps, help the homeless people, giving them bed, housing, even resources of they can get a better place to stay in.
That's what's up. Forgiveness or accountability play in your journey? So
I don't feel that justice was served, but I gets out there and make sure of accountability, of boots on the ground, helping the community, serving the community, giving back to the community.
and that makes you feel better.
That makes me feel over 100% better.
That's what's up. That's what's up. What are you doing to honor your son's memory?
I'll be out here with the youngsters, getting them to work and keep their mind on a positive mind and not a negative, and can just continue working with different organizations, CRC, United Players, Kano Special Service, Child Prep, and all these other different organizations that I work with.
How are you working to prevent something like this from happening again?
Working with the Mayor OPIC program, formerly incarcerated, Giving Back, and APT, Cap Brooks program.
Anti-terror project.
Anti-terrorism.
Perfect. And you talked about Barbara Lee, the mayor of Oakland, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's what's up. Okay, no special services and CRC in C4C and other organizations who are associated with them. Perfect.
What message do you send to other fathers?
I tell other fathers, no matter what happens in life, whether it's a tragedy, whether it's good or bad, it's time to step up and stop always letting the mamas, the grandmamas, and the sisters, the aunties, stop letting all the women do the work. Fathers, get out there, stand up, and talk to your kids, talk to your nephew, talk to your little cousin, because those young men need guidance in their life, and they need a male figure, not all women.
How has the relationship with your son's mother changed over time?
The relationship with me and my son's mama changed the day my son was murdered. I don't know what the problem is, and really not gonna try to figure it out, because we both lost something that we loved it more than anything in this world. But she flipped the script. And all I can say is, I'm not gonna change like that.
So, how do you want people to remember Oscar Grant?
A stand-up dude, a real dude, a happy dude, a funny dude, a man that works, a person that take care of his family.
That's what's up. If you could change one thing about the system, what would it be?
To stop everybody from struggling.
That's what's up. It's a little heavy. So if your son could see you today, what do you think he'd say?
My son will be proud of his dad.
Definitely.
Because one thing for sure, I came home and I ain't never, ever stopped working.
That's what's up. Trust me, I know. I've been out there with you in different environments that people don't want to go in and working to clean up these environments and stuff like that, you know? Been side by side, boots on the ground, Fruitvale area, you know, preventing bipping and stuff like that. I know, trust me.
A father's story is never just about loss. It's about love,
Freak, are
truth,
you kidding me?
and what remains after everything changes.
Only time will tell if I really played it well. I've been fighting my worst demons. I've been stuck inside this hell. I guess only time will tell. Only time will tell. Only time will tell.
Freak, are you kidding me?
Only time will tell. Only time will tell if I really played it well. I've been fighting my worst demons. I've been stuck inside this hell. I guess only time will tell.